Please subscribe, like and share this content. It means a lot to us. Thank you in advance.
Cornell Law School.
U.C.C. Article 9. Secured Transactions. Part 5. Filing.
Subpart 1. Filing Office. Contents and Effectiveness of Financing Statement.
Paragraph 9513. Termination Statement. A. Consumer goods. A secured party shall cause the secured party of record for a financing statement to file a termination statement for the financing statement if the financing statement covers consumer goods and 1. There is no obligation secured by the collateral covered by the financing statement and no commitment to make an advance, incur an obligation, or otherwise give value, or 2. The debtor did not authorize the filing of the initial financing statement. B. Time for compliance with subsection A. To comply with subsection A, a secured party shall cause the secured party of record to file the termination statement 1. Within 1 month after there is no obligation secured by the collateral covered by the financing statement and no commitment to make an advance, incur an obligation, or otherwise give value, or 2. If earlier, within 20 days after the secured party receives an authenticated demand from a debtor. C. Other collateral. In cases not governed by subsection A, within 20 days after a secured party receives an authenticated demand from a debtor, the secured party shall cause the secured party of record for a financing statement to send to the debtor a termination statement for the financing statement or file the termination statement in the filing office if 1. Except in the case of a financing statement covering accounts or chattel paper that has been sold or goods that are the subject of a consignment, there is no obligation secured by the collateral covered by the financing statement and no commitment to make an advance, incur an obligation, or otherwise give value. 2. The financing statement covers accounts or chattel paper that has been sold but as to which the account debtor or other person obligated has discharged its obligation. 3. The financing statement covers goods that were the subject of a consignment to the debtor but are not in the debtor's possession, or 4. The debtor did not authorize the filing of the initial financing statement. D. Effect of filing termination statement. Except as otherwise provided in Section 9510, upon the filing of a termination statement with the filing office, the financing statement to which the termination statement relates ceases to be effective, except as otherwise provided in Section 9510, for purposes of Sections 9519G, 9522A, and 9523C, the filing with the filing office of a termination statement relating to a financing statement that indicates that the debtor is a transmitting utility also causes the effectiveness of the financing statement to lapse. Paragraph 9514. Assignment of powers of secured party of record. A. Assignment reflected on initial financing statement. Except as otherwise provided in subsection C, an initial financing statement may reflect an assignment of all of the secured party's power to authorize an amendment to the financing statement by providing the name and mailing address of the assignee as the name and address of the secured party. B. Assignment of filed financing statement. Except as otherwise provided in subsection C, a secured party of record may assign of record all or part of its power to authorize an amendment to a financing statement by filing in the filing office an amendment of the financing statement which 1. Identifies, by its file number, the initial financing statement to which it relates, 2. Provides the name of the assigner, and 3. Provides the name and mailing address of the assignee. C. Assignment of record of mortgage. An assignment of record of a security interest in a fixture covered by a record of a mortgage which is effective as a financing statement filed as a fixture filing under Section 9502C may be made only by an assignment of record of the mortgage in the manner provided by law of this state other than the Uniform Commercial Code. Paragraph 9515. Duration and effectiveness of financing statement. Effect of lapsed financing statement. A. 5-year effectiveness. Except as otherwise provided in subsections B, E, F, and G, a filed financing statement is effective for a period of 5 years after the date of filing. B. Public finance or manufactured home transaction. Except as otherwise provided in subsections E, F, and G, an initial financing statement filed in connection with a public finance transaction or manufactured home transaction is effective for a period of 30 years after the date of filing if it indicates that it is filed in connection with a public finance transaction or manufactured home transaction. C. Lapse and continuation of financing statement. The effectiveness of a filed financing statement lapses on the expiration of the period of its effectiveness unless before the lapse a continuation statement is filed pursuant to subsection D. Upon lapse, a financing statement ceases to be effective and any security interest or agricultural lien that was perfected by the financing statement becomes unperfected, unless the security interest is perfected otherwise. If the security interest or agricultural lien becomes unperfected upon lapse, it is deemed never to have been perfected as against a purchaser of the collateral for value. D. When continuation statement may be filed. A continuation statement may be filed only within 6 months before the expiration of the 5-year period specified in subsection A or the 30-year period specified in subsection B, whichever is applicable. E. Effect of filing continuation statement. Except as otherwise provided in Section 9510, upon timely filing of a continuation statement, the effectiveness of the initial financing statement continues for a period of 5 years commencing on the day on which the financing statement would have become ineffective in the absence of the filing. Upon the expiration of the 5-year period, the financing statement lapses in the same manner as provided in subsection C, unless, before the lapse, another continuation statement is filed pursuant to subsection D. Succeeding continuation statements may be filed in the same manner to continue the effectiveness of the initial financing statement. F. Transmitting utility financing statement. If a debtor is a transmitting utility and a filed initial financing statement so indicates, the financing statement is effective until a termination statement is filed. G. Record of mortgage as financing statement. A record of a mortgage that is effective as a financing statement filed as a fixture filing under Section 9502(c) remains effective as a financing statement filed as a fixture filing until the mortgage is released or satisfied of record or its effectiveness otherwise terminates as to the real property. Paragraph 9516. What constitutes filing? Effectiveness of filing. A. What constitutes filing? Except as otherwise provided in subsection B, communication of a record to a filing office and tender of the filing fee or acceptance of the record by the filing office constitutes filing. B. Refusal to accept record. Filing does not occur. Filing does not occur with respect to a record that a filing office refuses to accept because 1. The record is not communicated by a method or medium of communication authorized by the filing office. 2. An amount equal to or greater than the applicable filing fee is not tendered. 3. The filing office is unable to index the record because A. In the case of an initial financing statement, the record does not provide a name for the debtor. B. In the case of an amendment or information statement, the record I. does not identify the initial financing statement as required by Section 9512 or 9518, as applicable, or 2. Identifies an initial financing statement whose effectiveness has lapsed under Section 9515. C. In the case of an initial financing statement that provides the name of a debtor identified as an individual or an amendment that provides the name of a debtor identified as an individual which was not previously provided in the financing statement to which the record relates, the record does not identify the debtor's last name, or D. In the case of a record filed or recorded in the filing office described in Section 9501(a)(1), the record does not provide a sufficient description of the real property to which it relates. 4. In the case of an initial financing statement or an amendment that adds a secured party of record, the record does not provide a name and mailing address for the secured party of record. 5. In the case of an initial financing statement or an amendment that provides a name of a debtor which was not previously provided in the financing statement to which the amendment relates, the record does not A. Provide a mailing address for the debtor, or B. Indicate whether the name provided as the name of the debtor is the name of an individual or an organization, or C. If the financing statement indicates that the debtor is an organization, provide I. A type of organization for the debtor, 2. A jurisdiction of organization for the debtor, or 3. An organizational identification number for the debtor or indicate that the debtor has none. 6. In the case of an assignment reflected in an initial financing statement under Section 9514(a) or an amendment filed under Section 9514(b), the record does not provide a name and mailing address for the assignee, or 7. In the case of a continuation statement, the record is not filed within the 6-month period prescribed by Section 9515(d). C. Rules applicable to subsection B. For purposes of subsection B, 1. A record does not provide information if the filing office is unable to read or decipher the information, and 2. A record that does not indicate that it is an amendment or identify an initial financing statement to which it relates, as required by Section 9512, 9514, or 9518, is an initial financing statement. D. Refusal to accept record effective as filed record. A record that is communicated to the filing office with tender of the filing fee, but which the filing office refuses to accept for a reason other than one set forth in subsection B, is effective as a filed record except as against a purchaser of the collateral which gives value in reasonable reliance upon the absence of the record from the files. Paragraph 9517. Effect of indexing errors. The failure of the filing office to index a record correctly does not affect the effectiveness of the filed record. Paragraph 9518. Claim concerning inaccurate or wrongfully filed record. A. Statement with respect to record indexed under person's name. A person may file in the filing office an information statement with respect to a record indexed there under the person's name if the person believes that the record is inaccurate or was wrongfully filed. Alternative A. B. Contents of statement under subsection A. An information statement under subsection A must 1. Identify the record to which it relates by the file number assigned to the initial financing statement to which the record relates. 2. Indicate that it is an information statement, and 3. Provide the basis for the person's belief that the record is inaccurate and indicate the manner in which the person believes the record should be amended to cure any inaccuracy or provide the basis for the person's belief that the record was wrongfully filed. Alternative B. B. Contents of statement under subsection A. An information statement under subsection A must 1. Identify the record to which it relates by A. The file number assigned to the initial financing statement to which the record relates, and B. If the information statement relates to a record filed or recorded in a filing office described in Section 9501A1, the date and time that the initial financing statement was filed or recorded and the information specified in Section 9502B. 2. Indicate that it is an information statement, and 3. Provide the basis for the person's belief that the record is inaccurate and indicate the manner in which the person believes the record should be amended to cure any inaccuracy or provide the basis for the person's belief that the record was wrongfully filed. End of alternatives. Alternative A. D. Contents of statement under subsection C. An information statement under subsection C must 1. Identify the record to which it relates by the file number assigned to the initial financing statement to which the record relates. 2. Indicate that it is an information statement, and 3. Provide the basis for the person's belief that the person that filed the record was not entitled to do so under Section 9509D. Alternative B. D. Contents of statement under subsection C. An information statement under subsection C must 1. Identify the record to which it relates by A. The file number assigned to the initial financing statement to which the record relates, and B. If the information statement relates to a record filed or recorded in a filing office described in Section 9501A1, the date and time that the initial financing statement was filed or recorded and the information specified in Section 9502B. 2. Indicate that it is an information statement, and 3. Provide the basis for the person's belief that the person that filed the record was not entitled to do so under Section 9509D. End of alternatives. E. Record not affected by information statement. The filing of an information statement does not affect the effectiveness of an initial financing statement or other filed record. Legislative note. States whose real estate filing offices require additional information and amendments and cannot search their records by both the name of the debtor and the file number should enact Alternative B to Sections 9512A, 9518B, 9518D, 9519F, and 9522A.